3 reasons why your edges or your corners are popping back on you is due to 1, cleanliness. You have to make sure that the panel is always clean. Having negative tension on the film, not using positive tension, and incorrect temperature. Hey, it's Austin with Wrap Fresh, and today we're gonna talk about why your corners and edges may not be holding up. And I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks on the best ways to make your corners and edges hold. So positive tension is using the film's elasticity in your favor. The film has a stretchy compound to it. When doing a corner with PPF, you want this corner to be held with positive tension instead of heating it and stretching it around. I'm using like a rubber band effect. So I would pull and then I would hook this corner, and the tension of this film wants to pull back. It's actually gonna hook this corner for me and hold it. And that way I know that that corner is not gonna go anywhere. And if it's hooked properly and it's rounded perfectly, there really is no need for any heat. Heat is for if you get it to round it, but you have like maybe a little bit of excess film here, you might wanna heat it and pull it around and then kind of tap it with your torch. That way it kind of melts it to that corner. But if your corner fits perfectly, which is kind of rare, but if you do get it, there is no need for heat. I'll put this piece on here. So first things first, I didn't stretch this film any way, shape, or form. This is just how it came right off the roll. Bad tension would be to heat this corner like you were to wrap it, like vinyl wrap, and pull it around and do all of this. Now, that would be considered negative tension. Why? Because I just took a flat piece of film and I just curved it into a shape of a small football. So it's going to have some tension. Now, you really want to focus on positive tension. And what I mean by positive tension is, like I was explaining before, having somewhat of a rubber band effect. So I'll lift this up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my corner, so it's going to land somewhere around there. So I'll put my 2 fingers around here. And all I'm going to do is just lift this up, and I'm going to pull this way, and I'll pull away with my fingers like this, and I'll find that corner, hook that corner, and as you can see, I rounded that corner with positive tension. And I know it's positive because my wrinkles, if you're reading your wrinkles, these are going to tell you that this is positive tension. The film's wanting to pull back to where it was, and I'm using that advantage to hook that corner for me. I didn't use any heat to get this corner to round like that. And then once that's there, you would just come on the back side of here, cut your V, and you can come on this side and you can see how rounded that corner is. And now that I have this positive tension on here, I know that this corner is not going to go anywhere. As opposed to heating it, forcing it around, there is a chance later on that that could kind of pop back. So a corner like this is going to be a little bit more difficult to get to because the door does open, so we will open this just a little bit to kind of give us a little bit of room. But the same technique is going to apply. So what I mean by that is using the film's elasticity to hook this corner. So let me trim a little bit of this off. So you can see this corner, and it is pretty sharp, but it is kind of bulky in the back. It's not a thin corner. So what we'll do is same thing I did on this side, and this would apply if I'm actually wrapping this entire fender. So I'll just pull it back a little bit. Use the film's elasticity, just like that. Hook that corner. You see when I let go, it automatically just snaps that corner into shape. Now you can see this wrinkle right here, and if you read the wrinkles, you can tell that this is positive tension. So what I would do with this is run it just like that. This is going to meet the back of the corner, so I don't have to worry about this because this is all going to get trimmed out. And now I have these wrinkles going horizontal, and that's when I would pick the film up and I would pull downward. Kind of like that. So what I just did there is I pulled across this way to hook the corner horizontally, and then I pulled down to relieve all this tension going vertically. So now my wrinkles are going up and down, as you can see. So when I go to tuck this behind here, I have a perfect corner that has absolutely no tension on it. And if it does have tension, that's your positive tension. This is working in your favor. This corner is never going to fail. If you do it properly like this, it is never going to fail. If you have negative tension, what would happen is if you had no positive tension, right? So as you can see right away, I have all of this flappy material that it can't go anywhere. And the only way to get rid of it is to heat it and stretch it. And that's to heat like this and then pull. If I were to trim this back, so let's trim this as if we were actually wrapping this corner. So if I were to heat this, the film has nowhere to go. I've got just a bunch of excess film that when I try and wrap it, I start ending up with bottle caps. And over time, if this were to lift up, water gets in here, and it just makes your corner look cheap because the film has nowhere to go. The only way to get the film to go anywhere is to heat it and stretch it around, or to mash it down with your finger. So if you could use positive tension to your advantage, absolutely do so. So when it comes to edges, say like this door edge right here, the number one failure reason is going to be cleanliness. With this already being a light tack adhesive, it's going to have a hard time sticking if it's not clean. You should always prep your panel perfectly. Another reason is the film was not heated to the correct temperature. So technically there is no post heat for a colored PPF film, but if you get it hot enough to where it activates the adhesive, this is basically your post heat. So one way to ensure this hold, since it doesn't have a post heat, you're gonna essentially heat it from the backside, and all you're doing is just activating the adhesive. So when this adhesive gets hot, it becomes very, very tacky. So if you want to come on this side, right here we have the backside of the adhesive, and like I said, it's not very sticky. So if you were just to mash this down, it might hold for a little bit, but eventually it's probably going to pop back up. But to ensure that, you would heat the backside of the adhesive, and then you would round your edge and stick it down. And that is going to ensure a hold because you're activating the adhesive. So it will take up to 48 hours for this to actually start to bond to the vehicle. So what we're doing is we're just immediately bypassing that 48-hour time, not allowing any dirt, debris, water get underneath that adhesive, and we're just sealing it off right then and there. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped, and make sure to check out ARMR Color PPF at wrapfresh.com.